Hello, James here. I'm going to chime in on this latest topic. I usually don't do major celebrity gossip, but I'm going to make some good points. I'm going to let the commentators make their points about it, and then I'll come in and do my commentary. But this is about Jeezy and his soon to be ex-wife. Okay, I'm going to show you the video.
Mazda's most ambitious vehicle yet has a powerful, responsive inline-six turbo that holds nothing back.
It's about August 2022 while I'm just scrolling here on YouTube, just checking out some things for content. And then I get an email from somebody that's on TikTok, and they send me this link, and the content creator is Austin Holloman. Now, back at this time, he was fairly unknown, unlike today. But this is the video that made him big. And the video that made him big was called Just Stop Dating in the US Altogether.
Guys, look, stop. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, because I've had enough of this reading the comments and just talking and seeing that nobody's gonna change, nobody's even gonna get the message. Stop dating women in the United States altogether. I know I said stop, don't marry a woman. Don't even with them at all now, okay? Because the thing is, nobody's gonna change, right? Nobody's even gonna try to compromise, okay? They think that you want to control them because you ask them to sweep the floor in the same house that they live in. And at the end of the day, I was told that, hey, Austin, you're just going through a phase. But let me ask you this. What are you getting out of dating a woman from the United States? You go to these other countries, you experience these women that treat you like you are somebody, like a real human, to be honest.
Now, you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with Jeannie Mia and Jeezy? Just sit tight, I'm going to explain. If you heard that video, he never called out any particular race. He didn't call out black women, he didn't call out white women, he didn't call out Asian women. He believes this is a systemic problem altogether with American women. And this is why passport bros became so hot, even amongst non-black men, because they started to see the issue. Fast forward, Demo! Now, I want to kind of get into this whole idea of black men and interracial dating. And that is something that we have seen throughout the country a lot, especially in the last 20 years. And there are some myths in the game that cannot be denied. And one of the myths is that black men and Asian women are a perfect match. For the most part, Asian women are very feminine and submissive, and black men tend to be more dominant and masculine, and they make a good couple when you combine both. That's kind of how black men have looked at Asian women, even in the United States. They are going to be, on average, more submissive than white women or even black women. But then there's a particular podcast, Girls Gone Wireless Pod, and they put up a YouTube short called Do Black Guys Love Asian Women? This is interesting. Let's check it out.
All black guys like Asian girls.
Okay, let's hear this theory. All black guys like Asian girls.
Because their dicks are bigger and our are tighter, and black guys like to dominate a lot. They like to get their dicks squeezed really hard by Asian girls.
Name some black and Asian couples, though. I don't really know of any.
Chris Brown was with an Asian girl.
What Asian girl?
She was like black and Asian.
What black guy is with a full Asian girl?
Like a successful Asian girl relationship?
Yeah.
You see, I don't think it ever works out long term. I think the
this
theory
nice?
is like they just want to the Asian girls. They can't ever trap the
What's
Asian
this-
girls because the
what's
Asian
this
girls are
nice?
always going to want something else.
But did you guys hear that at the end of the clip? They said something very important. Asian women and black men don't work out because Asian women are not really interested in black men long term. They just want to copulate the girls, but that's pretty much it. And Asian girls always want something else. Rewind demo! That takes us to Jeannie Mia. Now, Jeannie Mia is a TV show host. She's in the entertainment industry. And for those of you who know Jeannie Mia, she was married previously to a white man. I believe it's Fred Hartise is his name. And again, there was a very controversial clip on The Real that she talked about that while she's married and she likes black men, she likes her dark meat on the side. and she had to actually end up apologizing for that.
So we all know, and just like Freddie has a preference, I have a preference. We both married each other out of pure love. Like he likes white women, blonde hair, blue eyes.
And you like black rappers.
I like the good brother. I do. I think they're cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I said on this show that somebody said white meat somewhere, and I was like, yeah, I like white meat, but I like my dark meat on the side.
Yeah, I remember that.
Despite that controversy, Jeezy married her anyway. He was so happy that she was going to be his bride that Jeezy made this video.
I had some friends tell me, yeah, man, like that's going to be the moment. And I just remember locking eyes with her and just going like, wow, you know, we had an amazing time getting to know each other. And she's amazing. Like she's a wonderful person inside and out. And I was like, you know, wow, like, you know, when we first started dating, I knew this would happen. And it was going to look this beautiful. And, you know, it's just a real moment being in front of fans. I mean, with friends and family, close friends. And just seeing my dad happy and just knowing that, you know, my sister and her parents was there, and her close friends, my close friends, and them actually seeing, you know, us just taking this next chapter and writing this amazing book. So, yeah, I was seeing her walk down that aisle was a real thing.
But again, I want to go back to Asian women being feminine. And again, what a lot of black men don't understand is that just because Asian women are Asian and they've grown up in America and they might be different from black women, it doesn't mean that they're feminine. And here's an example of what I'm talking about.
Pretty much every time I met a black man, he thought it would be a flex to say something like, yeah, I like my women foreign, I like my women exotic. And I don't know why they decided to say that to me, if they thought it would make me feel good or something, but for me it's always a red flag. And so I would dig in a little bit further and say, well, what do you mean by that? Like, because I'm a white girl on the inside. My family is white. I grew up in a white community in a small town in the Midwest, so I might look exotic, but I'm Wonder Bread white on the inside. So anyway, whenever these guys would say this, I'd be like, well, you're about to be in for a big disappointment if you're expecting.
Wow.
We definitely have ants in here.
Don't feel long.
Nice.
What's going on here?
Expecting a submissive, docile Asian to take care of you.
Jeezy ends up filing for divorce, and there are many people out there speculating why that is. People are saying that she cheated on him with a white man, most notably the white ex-husband that she had. People are saying all sorts of things, and he hasn't said that. He hasn't said anything. We just know that he filed for divorce. And he filed for a divorce after 2.5 years, even after they sired a daughter. And that is actually pretty sad, you know, knowing that the couple married in March of 2021. But I believe I want to go back to Austin Holloman's initial point, that you're just not getting the respect in America. And despite Jeezy being the man he is, he felt somehow he was dealing with a modern woman. And at 44, she wasn't going to change. So he filed for divorce and also dual custody or joint custody of the daughter, even after, you know, finding a woman that he felt that he could marry. She was from the Asian community and all of this. And, you know, there's not any infidelity from what I understand or what the blogs are saying. We don't know why. They cannot reconcile this marriage. And one of the reasons why they can't reconcile the marriage is because he felt disrespected. And this is what a lot of guys need to understand, because a lot of ladies who come up in America, you know, they're going to look at relationships very differently than somebody who comes up in an Asian country, or who comes up in Africa, or who comes up in a part of Europe. And what happens is that the American society in which we come up in, when it comes to women, I'm not saying all of them are bad, but for what a man needs in a relationship, it might not be it. Now, just understand that she was married to a white guy for 12 years, and maybe Jeezy thought that it was going to be different for him, and it was not. And now this is her second marriage that's failed in the last 5 years. It says a lot about her, and maybe she has career aspirations. She maybe doesn't want to be a wife. I'm not sure. But the reality is, this is telling. It's telling a lot of men, especially black men, that hey, It's just not a white woman in America that can make you happy, or an Asian woman, or even a black woman. I believe that what most men are looking at is we're dealing with a certain mentality. So guys, if I get more information on actually what happened, I will keep you posted. But what did you think of the video? Subscribe at the
minimum height.
6 feet.
Yeah, that's where they get you. Would you exclude obesity?
Absolutely.
Minimum income. So
I'm gonna say at least 200.
200 grand?
You can be 30 years
Oh
old.
my goodness. Take a guess at what percentage of men fit this criteria? 2%? Much lower. It's 0.049%.
Alright, is this going on the TV? Okay, so I firmly believe that yes, you should have high standards, of course. But my question to this lady and to all the other women out there who think that a guy needs to be at least 6'2" just to talk to them and make six figures, what are you doing to better yourself? What are you doing to be worthy of a man like that, of his attention? Because it's really easy to have all of these different boxes that you want a guy to tick, but it seems like nowadays a lot of women get offended when men actually have their own preferences. So fair is fair, though. If she wants to have all these standards, that's fine, but she shouldn't be upset or outraged when a man thinks that she is too short or not blonde enough or pretty enough or whatever it is.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Raw back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So today we are going to be discussing double standards and how men get shamed for having them and women seem to be accepted for having them. So there was a young lady on TikTok who I reacted to before, and she called out the women on this one, and to my surprise, they really didn't have much to say in the comments. It was pretty much all support. But let's hear what she had to say. Let's get into it.
Stop giving ugly men a chance.
So I guess collectively men should stop dating women that wear makeup or get their hair done or get their nails done or use filters or Facetune or all the bullshit that make y'all feel pretty, but then y'all come on the internet and you bash men like that and you have ugly ass personalities in real life. This video is a perfect example of that, because this girl at minimum is a 4 talking about stop dating ugly men. Like, since when? Like, let's be honest, most of y'all without your filters and all of the fucking 10 pounds of makeup and the fake eyelashes and the fake tan and all the bullshit, y'all aren't that attractive either. So you guys come on the internet and say dumb shit about stop dating ugly men. Well, collectively, men could easily say, I don't want to date ugly women. I don't want to date women that wear makeup. I don't want to date people that are fat. Y'all get so mad when men put standards out there, but then there's videos like this out there that y'all justify.
What is that?
If you can honestly say, let's stop dating ugly men, then do not turn around and get pissed when a man says he doesn't want to date you because you're fat. Okay, bye.
And she be killing me with that, okay, bye. It kind of remind me of the woman who used to be on that show, The Weakest Link. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. That's what it reminds me of. But she's 100% right, man. This is definitely a double standard that has been going on for a while. Another one of these conversations in this space that seems to just be an ongoing circle conversation, and it's really shocking when you think about it, because it's really based in logic. I mean, I really don't understand why women have... I think the real problem is that women don't like the thought of being disqualified, because they, especially nowadays, because they get so much validation through social media. Mm-hmm. So when there's that one guy that's like, yeah, you know what I mean? They either feel a way or it makes them more attracted to them. One or the other. So, yeah, that's a little tip for you guys, man. Some of that nonchalant game, but that's a whole nother story. On to the next clip.
You mentioned this to me once before. I would definitely get behind something like that. I don't know how to do it, but I would certainly support something like that. But this suggestion is leading me into thinking about something else. What types of questions could a man ask that would discern whether a woman would be a high-quality partner or a low-quality partner? If I was interviewing a woman to find out whether she's wife-worthy, long-term girlfriend-worthy, I would use the trigger word, the patriarchy, and to see what her feelings are about that. I would ask her what femininity means. Also to look at her socials and to see what those look like. I would ask her about what she feels about certain creators on this app, like Drew and a number of others, and to see whether her eyes light up. Because I know, as a woman, if I'm sitting in a group of women and they even mention the patriarchy, I have to leave. Or if they begin mentioning really bitter female creators that I'm aware of on this app. Or if they use these words like men being sassy. Or if they ever use a term like pick me in a negative way. Because that word pick me is precious now. I embrace it. I mean, these would be good questions to even ask on a date. Just to get a feel for a woman's feminist temperature. So I want to ask you guys something. What other types of topics or questions could be asked of a woman to ascertain her feminist temperature? Like I mentioned patriarchy, Drew, what does femininity mean to you? But you've got me really thinking about this. And I'm curious about what type of barometers could be utilized to find out where a woman is on the feminist spectrum.
I got one right off the top of my head that'll be real easy for you. What did they think of Kevin Samuels? That'll really tell you a lot about a woman. What did they think of Kevin Samuels? What do they think of RP content? What do they think of manosphere content? What do they think masculinity is? What do they think it means? You know what I mean? What does marriage mean to you? What does having a family mean to you? But yeah, I might. But as far as like trying to see what triggers her, I would probably start with Kevin Samuels. Because I don't know if y'all remember, I did a video a long time ago, where a woman went viral for trying to say that women should start asking men on dates if they watch Andrew Tate or Kevin Samuels and cut them off if they do. So I would use that same barometer against them. Just a thought, but yeah, I like that idea, definitely. Let's keep it moving.
You're dating younger women, and you're kind of like damaging them at a young age.
Older men who are dating younger women are looking for an escape.
Men depend on women being dumb, right? Which is why they want young chicks who are impressionable. Like
guys date younger women because they're easily manipulated. They're gonna be very happy with a few crumbs because maybe they didn't experience much in the world.
Every single guy on planet Earth says that they like younger women. And every single girl on planet Earth says that's not okay.
If you're 40, you do not need to be talking to somebody that's 20-something years old. I'm sorry.
A guy who goes after a girl significantly younger than them is severely lacking in their life.
I know why 38-year-old men date 22-year-old women. So back to this guy. Women around his own age, me, see him as immature, not successful, behind in life.
Let's talk about why some women get offended when older men talk to young girls because they're in shape. See, a lot of you women, you get of age and then you lose your whole body shape, you know, like. But I'm not letting myself get so huge and humongous that my gut sitting over top of my. I'm just not. I care too much about me, and it's not even about the man. It's the fact that when I take my clothes off, I want to be like, okay, girl, you got it. I don't want to be like, ew, I see why I don't have no man. An older man likes younger women because they're feminine. They have the femininity that isn't. Well, I'm proud of myself. You hear me say that word? That they are very soft-spoken, humble, submissive. A lot of older women, you get stuck in your ways, and you be like, well, I ain't doing all that. And then, especially as a woman, when you're used to paying your own bills, running your own life, you exhausted. Then a lot of you get scorned, you bitter, your heart hurt, you ain't loving no more. Like, there's so many reasons that an older man be like, I ain't got time for this older woman. She too much difficult. She too much work. See, what women don't realize, a man does not want to get with a woman that's a project. And I talk about this all the time.
Yes.
A man does not want to be bothered with a woman that has all these issues because he doesn't feel like that.
Right.
So why not go get me a young girl? She in shape. She flexible. She listens to what I say. I can not just train her. I can educate her. Third, she has feminine qualities, and she's sexy.
Perfect. You win.
It is what it is.
Passport Bros. Bruh, I didn't even realize this was a Passport Bro video. Damn, that's crazy, bruh. I did not know that was a Passport Bro video. Now that I think of it, man, this is by JFK Gomez Red. I don't know, that name looked familiar, brother. I'm like, do you watch my channel? I think I might have seen you in the comments before. Let me know if you're watching this. Yeah, man. So, look, at the end of the day, that's never gonna change. And you wanna know what I find so funny? You'll have women over here that'll sit over here and try to say men shame women for being hypergamous, when all we do is teach men about hypergamy and what it is. We know what hypergamy is more than women do. I was hearing men say it before women say it. But here's the problem though. If women know that being hypergamous is a part of their nature, you shouldn't be shaming men for wanting younger women, because that's a part of their nature, just as it is for you to exercise your hypergamy. It's literally human nature. That's all it is. Because when you really think about it, man, quite a bit of this stuff that's taught in this space is based on biology. So I don't really understand, the double standard when it comes to this. It's ridiculous, and it really needs to stop. And this is another reason why I guess that was a Passport Bro video, because in these other countries, that the age gap is very, very common, and in some cases preferred, but definitely not frowned upon like it is in the West. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it.
All I had to do was bring the desire to learn. I am currently employed.
Joseph B2, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Jeezy Said.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Guys, it is only right we address this. Jeezy, divorce, filing for divorce from his wife, Jeannie Mia. Now, it's important because I've done a video, really big video a while back, where I was really praising Jeannie Mia for her being a submissive wife. Now, it wasn't because we all knew that she was actually submissive in a relationship, but more because she was saying the right things.
Jeannie Mia is explaining her plans to be submissive in her marriage to her fiance, Jeezy. So I'm going to say right here that I, Jeannie Mia, going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man. Let me explain.
And if you don't remember the video, the topic was submission, and she was pro-submission, submitting to her husband. And I remember saying that she had the right mindset. It was her and one other person. Everybody else was lost on that show, as in the other women on there were like modern women minded. It was her and Tamara Mowry. They were both on the side of letting a man lead within the confines of a relationship. But when I say she had the right mindset, what I mean is you don't try to be submissive unless the man who you're going to marry, your husband, has been upfront and honest about what they also value within the confines of a relationship. And so she was striving to honor a value that both of them wanted. I will say this about Jeannie Mia. There's something else that I read that said that she had an anger issue. That could have been a problem.
For example, I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. I saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunt.
Then came this news. The headline of the post read, rapper Jeezy on Thursday filed for divorce from his wife and TV host Jeannie Mia, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Now guys, listen, I really want this to be an open conversation. I'm more curious about what you guys think about this whole situation, more than I really have much to say. And so I'm gonna rush straight into these comments. Let's see how the people reacted to this situation. By the way, man, shout out to the lead attorney who shed some light on this whole divorce. And of course, I gotta give him props, man. When it comes to understanding the legal aspects of divorce today. The lead attorney has helped me many times. I've checked out a lot of his videos, and I just want to give him a shout out because he did a really, really good live on this specific topic. Head over there and watch that for sure. He goes into detail about that. Let's check out some of these comments, man. First comment here says, honestly, all these marriages not lasting because God is not in the beginning, middle, and end of them. What do you guys think of that? Here's a caption that came along with that headline that I'm going to read. I think it's worth reading. It says, the couple got married in March of 2021 in Atlanta at their home in the middle of the pandemic. I'm glad I read this. The lead attorney mentioned the fact that they came together during the pandemic. So they were a pandemic couple. And a lot of people got together during the pandemic. And after the pandemic didn't last so long. Goes on to say, Maya was host of syndicated talk show The Real for 8 seasons before it was canceled last year. Thank God. Right? Because that show was crazy. Goes on to say, the couple met when he visited her show as a guest. I didn't know that. Years later, he asked me out on a date. I told Vanity Fair in 2021, we shared a romantic sushi dinner in Los Angeles and salsa danced the night away. Later that evening, he asked if I could picture spending the rest of my life with him. And crazy enough, I could. Alright, guys, so we have to talk about this. Here's the most disturbing aspect of this whole divorce. It's not that they're splitting up. It's not that things didn't work out. It's that he had a prenup that he didn't take the right steps to make sure that the prenup was ironclad. Is that he had her sign the prenup within 48 or 24 hours. It wasn't more than 72 hours for sure. And again, going back to the lead attorney, divorce attorney that's been practicing for over 20 years, he spoke about how the best way to make sure that you don't run into a mistake where a woman is claiming she signed the prenup in emotional duress is having her sign it 6 months prior to the actual wedding. So then the question is, will that prenup get thrown out? I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Now, is there a guarantee for success when it comes to people who still want to get married? Right? I'm not talking about the comments that are going to say the best guarantee is not to get married. Not everybody wants to take that path. Every man should choose the path that he wants to take. There's no guarantee in this shit for anybody. And things can go sideways. So let's check out more of these comments, man. Another comment here says, perfect example of you never know what's going on behind closed doors. He was literally gushing over how awesome she is just a few weeks ago, this commenter says. Another woman here came in with a controversial comment, and I saw a lot of this. This woman says, this is exactly why Jenny never wanted to have a child. Now look, she done married a black man, and he done made her a baby mama. Come on, Jeezy. This comment seemed like it was an attack against black men. What do you guys think? One thing I will say is she did not initiate the divorce in this situation. She did not. Here's another woman that says, damn, I didn't see this coming. Child, and all the shit y'all was talking, trying to compare her to black women like she's better because she's Asian. Let me keep my mouth shut. Drink the coffee, this chick says.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Here's another comment that says, I never liked this from the beginning. She got on national TV and said black men were side dishes, not main courses. Good riddance. Another man here joined in and said, got him some orange chicken and dipped. Somebody else here added, anybody can get married. Not everyone can stay married. Get to know that person inside out before making a lifetime commitment. Another woman here added, people finding humor in a broken marriage worries me. I think people just cope with humor in general. It's what we do. And finally, our last comment here says, he said goodbye fried rice, hello fried chicken. Listen, guys, open discussion. What was your reaction to this? What do you think led to this whole situation? Maybe you did see this coming. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.
Found adapted by SkinCeuticals and Research International. The pioneering women in reconstructive surgery program transforms her to hero. We advance women surgeons to help transform.
And Richie is peace. You can put somebody in a Rolls Royce, he still gonna have the same problems. And I think once you become this place where you just have peace with who you are and who you become, I had to give myself permission to evolve because it was almost like I wanted to grow, but I couldn't grow because of my surroundings.
Joe, is this my last marriage?
Okay, on your palm.
Yes.
You have the second one. You have a second one.
That's right now.
Okay. Oh, right now, second
This
one?
is my second one.
Okay.
Do you see another one?
I hope she doesn't have second one, third one.
Joe, this is a very important question.
Okay.
Please say something.
Alright, so you guys know I could give two shits about celebrity news, celebrity gossip, celebrity divorces, but I think this is actually worth a conversation. So as you know, Young Jeezy, the Atlanta rapper, recently filed for divorce from his Vietnamese wife, Jeannie Mia, who's also one of the hosts on The Real. First of all, I forgot that they were married. It's not relevant news to me. Celebrities are good models for romance and the highs and the highlights, but I don't think they are good models for relationships. And it saddens me that a lot of our women in particular have drank the Kool-Aid of this is what love is supposed to be like, right? Following these millionaires who typically made their name and made their fame by being either social pariahs or professional critics. And in this case, you have both.
He's dropped a young and a hot new album, Church in These Streets. You guys know who I'm talking about. Give it up for Jeezy!
Welcome to the show!
I'm a big fan.
And what strikes me first, you know, sometimes we talk about black men's Peter Pan syndrome, and I like to put it in a larger white supremacist context. White supremacy likes to keep us in a boy role. It likes to keep us infants, socially, politically, intellectually, emotionally. And I think that's part of the reason why you see a lot of these rappers go by Little This, Baby That, and Young This. Young Jeezy is a perfect example. You know, he was known as the Snowman. He rapped about being a prolific drug dealer, and he promoted and made his wealth primarily from promoting that lifestyle to the youth. It seems like now he has changed his life. He is trying to model a different lifestyle, but those are his roots. And I'm not upset at the brother because I understand in a white supremacist context, coming from certain environments, sometimes that is your only option. Athletics, crime, and unfortunately, this is what we know this brother for. And I bring that up because, unfortunately, it's very difficult with that context for the rest of the world, our women, other people's women, to treat us or to consider us on equal footing from a maturity standpoint. Typically, they would like to keep us within a concept that they're familiar with. The gangster, the mandingo, the athlete. But if you're trying to be the man, I don't know if the rest of the world knows what that is or wants what that is.
Yeah. He likes white women, blonde hair, blue eyes.
And you like black rappers.
I like a good brother. I do. I think they're cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I said on this show that somebody said white meat somewhere, and I was like, yeah, I like white meat, but I like my dark meat on the side.
Yeah, you
right?
remember that.
Jeannie Mia, she's one of the hosts on The Real. She has made a name for herself, you know, in the celebrity space. I don't know what she did before that, but she struck me kind of like the white women we see enamored with black men. She strikes me as another woman who has a certain idea of black men, and it's not a human idea. It's an entertaining idea. Again, according to Dr. Tia Johnson, we're walking phalluses. We exist for their entertainment, their consumption. But we're not actually men. And it breaks my heart, particularly when you think about the SYSBM movement or the Passport Bro movement. It breaks my heart that we as black men, we think that there is some escaping that. Right? We think that just because this white woman or this Asian woman has sex with black men, or she is married to a black man, or she has mixed children, that she doesn't also harbor some white supremacist, some racist ideology. And I think it speaks to our misunderstanding of what racism is. I think a lot of times we focus on the interpersonal aspects of it. We don't consider the covert aspects of it. We don't consider how it's literally baked in to the world's conception of whiteness, blackness, Asianness, Hispanicness. And we assume that as black men, just because we get ourselves a woman who is non-black, that we can escape that reality. I was watching a documentary the other day of Miles Davis, and at one point he went to France for the first time. And similar to a lot of men, in the 50s, 60s, even earlier than that, it wasn't until they went overseas that they didn't have to be black, right? James Baldwin talks about this as well. It wasn't until he went to Europe that he was considered an intellectual, not just a black intellectual. He was considered a man, not just a black man. And it's very easy, especially if you are born and bred in an American white supremacist context, it's very easy to fall in love with that. Miles Davis, he talks about a French woman that he met while he was in France. And one of their friends asked, "Why aren't you going to marry her?" He said, "Because I love her." It was interesting, but I think it speaks to our deep desire as black people to escape our condition. And unfortunately, our condition is that much more apparent when we're around each other. And I think that's why you see SYSBM, you see the Divest movement, and you see other movements that champion the separation of blackness, right? Instead of the reconciliation of blackness, the repairing of blackness, especially in the American context. And in a lot of ways, this is true for African men as well. I'm Nigerian. One of the things that bothers me is you'll see a lot of Nigerian brothers who come over here and they marry the first obese white woman that they can find, right? And it's for multiple reasons. Number one, to get our papers. But number two, I think also when you're coming from dealing with black women who tend to be abrasive across the board, I'm talking about African black women as well, and then you're encountered with a more docile, more meek white woman, it's very easy to get carried away and fall for that, unfortunately. And I think it's worth conversation. So in this case, this is Jeezy's first marriage, even though he has 4 children. And this is Jeannie's second marriage. I would have the question for Jeezy: why was he inspired to marry this Asian lady after all the women that he had been with? In Jeannie's case, she was married before to a white gentleman.
The courts have emptied, but we're still here, putting in the hours.
In Jeannie's case, she was married before to a white gentleman. And one of the sticking points that led to their separation and divorce, she didn't want kids. Her former husband wanted kids. I would probably assume that she was also more urban than he was. She wanted to be outside. She wanted to have an enjoyable life. And white men don't necessarily represent enjoyment the way black men do. They represent safety and stability and power, right? So, kind of like Jeannie said, it's good to have a white man with some black on the side. Fellas, Carfax matter. And I think we're not asking the right questions, right? Like we tend to ask things like body count, and I think it's a good indicator, but it's not a good question because most women are gonna lie, right? What J. Cole say, she said she only fucked about 4 or 5 niggas, so you know you gotta multiply it by 3. It's not a good question. Most women are gonna lie. What you want to pay attention to and ask about is her integrity. What you want to find out is her ability to be bored. Women who do not know how to be bored tend to be promiscuous sexually as well. Right? She's gonna fall in love with you very quickly because you're exciting and you're fun. And you can buy her stuff, and this is novel and it's new. But when that novelty wears off, she's gonna be on to the next one. And a red flag for Jeezy should have been how she treated and talked about her first husband. And who knows how their marriage actually was, but the way that this woman consistently talked about liking black men on national television, even though he's not black. Some of her behavior, some of the ways that she condescendingly talked about him and their relationship, that should tell you that eventually that would be you. Because the reality is, brother, every woman is not cut out for marriage, even some of the ones who are married. And if you're somebody interested in sustainability, look at her track record. Look at her environment. Look at her preferences.
Right.
But I think the biggest one is, does she know how to be bored? Part of the reason why celebrity women are typically not good partners is because they typically don't know how to be bored. That's why they're celebrities. Same reason why celebrity men are typically not good partners. When your life is built on highs,
right,
you don't know how to deal with lows. You don't know how to deal with mundane Mondays. And as a community in particular, if we continue, because we have such a vacuum of healthy relationships to turn to, if we continue to look at these manufactured plastic celebrity relationships as goals, we'll continue to fail the same way that they do. I see now that Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, their relationship is rocky as well. Celebrity relationships are not a good model. So ladies, stop giving a shit about them. But brothers, more than anything, just learn about the dynamics and why they don't work. And learn that being the best tap dancer for a woman is not the way to keep her. Because it doesn't matter if you're Michael B. Jordan. It doesn't matter if you're Russell Wilson. It doesn't matter if you're Steve Harvey. If a woman doesn't want to be kept, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's true.
So find a woman who does.
Yes.
Preferably find a woman who's a reflection of you.
Yes.
Not just somebody who's good at performing the facade of a good woman.
Exactly.
And the pageantry of submission.
Yes.
Rather than a woman who actually deeply respects, values, and honors you.
Yes.
Not respects, values, and honors what you do for her.
Right.
You dated black guys.
Loved black guys. Yeah. I did. But for me, dark meat on the side, white keeps me mean and lean. You know, that's why I married a white man. That's what I like.
What do you mean, dark meat on the side?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I really do think black men are attractive. I do. Like that's my.
And I think it further speaks to some of that baked in covert racism. That's not, I don't like black people, but it's more so I don't see black people as anything other than entertainment, anything other than enjoyment. I don't see black people as intellects. I don't see black people as philosophers. I don't see black people as visionaries. I see black people as a good time. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers forget that. We forget that that's true for white women. We forget that that's true for Asian women. And we fail to notice that you don't talk like this to your fellow white friends. You don't talk like this to your fellow Asian friends. But whenever you're talking to me, you feel like you have to urbanize your accent, your delivery. You feel like now you have to neck roll. Now you have to finger wag. And again, I think it speaks to how deep and how baked in
his brother's on it.
This prejudice is. There is no absolution to be found in the arms of a white woman, brothers. There's no absolution, especially to be found in the arms of an Asian woman. You know, I think statistically, Asian women are the most likely to date out. I think they mostly go to white men. But I think it's number one, it's because I would say Asian women globally the most sought out because they represent meek and docile because of their culture, right? There's a lot of deference in Asian femininity, which I do think our women could learn from. However, the idea that Asian women are just pushovers it's not true. I was watching a clip of Lead Attorney, and he talked about how in his years of working as a divorce attorney, two of the most dangerous people that he's either represented or been up against in divorce hearings were white women and Asian women. And unfortunately, you know, as brothers, we tend to think about danger as like overt danger, like what it looked like. Nah, sometimes you have to pay attention to what it is. And some of the most dangerous people are meek. And that's particularly what makes them dangerous, because they're unassuming. So for brothers who think, I'm going to give me an Asian woman, I'm going to give me a white woman, I would just beg you to question your decision making and make sure that you're not doing that only because you think they're easier to ... because you might end up losing in the long run. And what's interesting, you know, statistically 80% of divorces are filed by women. And I don't actually think that's because women are always initiating divorce. I think it's because male nature tends to be very honor driven, and we tend to be very, I made this decision, I'm gonna stick to it. But I do think there's a large number of men who check out. And they check out and wait until the woman initiates the legal process. I know I've done that in relationships. I no longer wanted to be with her, but to save her feelings, I'm going to make her think that she broke up with me. It happens. But in this scenario, the fact that this man filed, it tells me that either she did something monumental or she's just that unbearable. Because that typically doesn't happen. Men will just grit our teeth for the most part. And, you know, I don't want to speculate because I'm not a celebrity blogger or gossiper, but I'd be curious. You know, one of the things, you know, they had when they got married is a prenup.
We definitely have ants in here.
Not for long.
Great. Nice.
What's going on here?
She never had no love for him, bro. She just wanted some dark meat for a season, and she got bored. Just think about the division between the family structure. I'm pretty sure her mom had no love for Jeezy. I'm pretty sure her family had no love for Jeezy at all. It's just not a good fit. This is crazy, man.
Was my man Freddie, who happens to be white.
Are you sure?
Yes!
I dated an Asian man once.
You did? Oh my God.
Yeah,
How did that go, Lonnie?
Yeah, because he had a Chinese restaurant. That's why I dated him. I had all the free beef and broccoli out here.
Noted, she said she dated the man because he had a Chinese restaurant so she can have beef and broccoli. So she basically dated a Chinese man for food. Bam. The signs are clear. These are the signs. This video in the middle here, this one, this is the video that Jeezy should have studied with his attorney from the beginning. He should have watched that video and make sure that he got everything on point.
So, I know.
Okay. Oh, it's all right.
So, you know how much I love Freddie, my husband. He's my life.
Wow.
And before we got married, I was very clear about the fact that I probably would not have kids, just because I've never felt that. And now, getting older, he definitely seems like he wants kids, and he actually came out and said that he wants children.
Do you see the danger, brothers? When you get with a woman, if she's not going to be able to have children for you, fam, it's going to be a problem. This woman is in her 40s, probably 43, I don't know, somewhere around there. She told this white man in the beginning of the marriage that she don't even want no kids. What's the point of being married if I can't reproduce? I'm going to have to go get me some other woman to reproduce. I'm just not going to be with you. But she probably didn't want that. Now, I don't know who filed for the divorce between Freddie and her. It probably was Freddie. Because if I know I'm with a sister and she's like, look, I don't want to have no kids, blah, 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 then there's no need for us to be married. We could just kick it. You could just be my concubine and we could just chill and whatnot. Since I know I'm not having kids with you, then hey, you'll be the fun girl. How about that? But not no wife. It doesn't even make no sense.
Children. So, I guess it's just really hard because I can't just have a child for another person. And you don't have a child to save your marriage. But we are in love and we are enjoying life and he's my Freddie. And
somebody said scripture says not to deal with the other nations. Go tell that to Moses. Moses had an Ethiopian wife. Did you read that? Matter of fact, he had more than one wife. Sometimes people bring in the scriptures and they don't even know what they're saying, fam. Let's get back to the tape.
I'm his genie, and we don't have any other problems except that, which you never know what could happen in the future. So right now, we are clinging to each other, and we're waiting for God to kind of tell us what that means.
Now, remember, she said she's waiting for God. She's not talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. She's talking about Buddha. So basically, Jeannie Ma went to Buddha to find out if this marriage is good. She ain't go to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No, she did not. They were unequally yoked from the beginning. Matter of fact, their marriage was vain already. Just like Steve Harvey's marriage is vain.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was diagnosed with AFib.
I'm gonna stop this right here. Let me say is this. You really have to be selective on who you pick as a mate. You really have to really get to know a person. Like some people say, don't get caught up with somebody based on their beauty. Don't get caught up based on exotic or what they are. Really, you have to get to know a person these days. I've been in similar situations in my past, and I learned something. And even if you go to some part of the world, get to know a person over there. You know, if you decide to meet a woman over there, get to know her personality before you tie the knot. You know, get to know her inside out. But that relationship was, sorry to say, it was doomed from the start. One thing I say, it's too much in the spotlight. Talk about, personal business in front of, what you and your husband do. I don't see too many talk shows doing that, talk about their husbands all like that. Second thing was, definitely that comment. I mean, how does her previous husband and even Jeezy, how did that fit? How they think about that? Having you putting their personal business all up out there in the middle of everybody and their mama on national television. That's another thing. The other thing is, she wasn't going to really be submissive. That's not in her nature. Then it come to find out she had some issues when she was younger. Somebody made out that when she was a child, she was assaulted. So that could be some inner stuff going on. So that probably carried over to her young womanhood. The third thing is that, like the one guy said, those celebrity relationships are hard to come by, unless you're willing to really be a balance. And a lot of these young women don't know how to balance. A lot of them, they're not like your older generations where they will work things out. Some people don't really want to work things out. And when they get a taste of a certain lifestyle, they seem like they're not going to be submissive. And I'll be humble, but yeah, as black men, we deserve respect. As black men, we shouldn't be looked at as entertainment, looked at as just some good rump in the bed or just good for dancing. It takes more than that. You know, someone can love you for inside out. Same way, if a black woman, someone should love you inside out, not because of what you do for them in the bedroom, or you just entertainment. And like the brother said, it's not going to last too long. It really not. It's not going to last very long. So it's something to think about. Yeah. And it's just that you have to watch who you be with. But yeah, I learned too, because I've been in relationships like that where the chick didn't want to be seen in public with me, but we was okay, we were good back then. I did, so really, no matter what race of woman she is, make sure she have respect for you. Make sure she got some sense. And the same way with the woman, make sure that man respect you. Make sure what it is. Don't let somebody use you for your body or for their pleasure or their entertainment. Let them like you and love you for you. You can't build a relationship off of stereotype. I hope Jeannie Mia realized that, and many people with her mindset from all walks of life think like that. Now, you have to understand what love and respect and honor is, and that's true. Like with the one guy said, the one commentary said, if you don't put God in your relationship, it's not built on a foundation of love. And then, like Ringo says, who God are you serving? Because if it's not the servant of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it's a false god. So that's true. So the next thing is that even you go overseas, man, whatever country you go to, or even you meet somebody from a country that come here, make sure you get to know her for her personality. Don't be so caught up in her exotic, because hey, once all the facade is over, you gotta deal with that person day to day on out. Not just because their culture, you gotta deal with that individual, and it's vice versa. So, black men or any other men, make sure someone pick you, for honor you, love you, respect you. Just like somebody would advise a woman, it would be same advice for a woman. Make sure someone love you, honor you, and respect you. If they can't do that, then they don't need to be around you. And that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, it all looks good, but let me get to know the person. Should I spend my time, my energy, my resources with somebody if they don't respect me? Doesn't make any sense, do it? So hope you like this video. Take some advice from the different commentators, and really, brothers, young brothers, middle-aged brothers, and men in between. Hey, be careful who you select. These celebrity is a prime example. make sure you pick the woman for you, that love you for you, that will honor you. Even some of the good women had good advice on there towards, letting other women know this is the reason why the men are not with you. And some of the women were right. And it bringing dysfunction to the internet. What do you expect? And so they just expose themselves. Now the men in their city, in their town, are going to know their face. See how it comes back and smack them in the face? And then they see what kind of personality they got, and you wonder why they're miserable. You just told the men not only that they'll recognize your face, but the men that in the town or where you about to go, if you decide to be the man, you just hurt yourself. It's like a man. Think about it. If I was a type of man that just sit up there and say, "Yeah, I slept with 100,000 women," how am I supposed to expect to meet the woman who I truly want when I just sit up there? I just told, yes, laid with all these different women and stuff like that. That's not impressing the woman, the woman that I want. That's just telling the woman that you can't be faithful. You're not mature. You might be a future cheater. So, and that can backfire too, on a man too. So some men have to use wisdom too when it comes to that. And if you hear a woman talk about body count or a man talk about body count, they're not mature. They're not to be trusted until they change up here. If they don't change up here, you can be with somebody, but if they're not mature, they go and get involved with this person, and like Ringo said, unless you want it based on friends with benefits or recreational use, that's the only thing you're gonna get up out of it. But when you give yourself in an intimate relationship with somebody, you're there to bond with them. But people now these days, they only want to bond with somebody. When you have intimacy with somebody, you're bonding with them. But even if you sleep with someone who's a prostitute, you're bonding with them. You're bonding with them and the people that bond with them. So now you got soul ties. I have a neighbor here. Let me say this. I'm sorry to extend this, but this guy, he's about 5 years older than me, right? And I don't know, he's one of these people that God tell me that he boned every woman around here. It's like, what is the point? It's like, okay, and then tell me what this woman did with him in the bedroom with sexual position. It's like, I don't care about that stuff. I don't know why you got to tell me about that. I don't see how it phases me. But it's just like, wow, man. And he got kids. But the thing about it, he's not, as a man, as a 60-something-year-old man, he ain't mature enough. He can't be mature enough to. He had have a steady girlfriend to come out and do everything for him, bring him groceries because he ain't got a car. And she, like any other couple, sometimes you butt heads and things like that. But the thing about it is, why would you go and mess with all these different women who bring nothing to the table, only just for some sexual gratification? Then these days, you don't know what the people you get with. They don't tell you anything. He's put his life on the line. 60-something-year-old man trying to impress me. I don't know why I feel like that telling me that he done boned every doggone woman out here. And some women they was doing something, giving fellatio or whatever. It's like, dude, she was with somebody else. And don't know that venereal disease is still going about. And I say, man, thank God God delivered me from that stuff, man. That mindset long time ago. Hey, man, it ain't. It's good to get with somebody that have good character. If they ain't got good character, you don't need to be with them. So I hope, take this to some advice. Because everything that looks good ain't going to be good. And sin will come at you and will get you in the end. You're going to pay for one way or the other. Whether you're in this body or not, or in the next life. Something to think about. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, and until next time, you guys take care. And man, get to know the woman, whatever nationality, race, color, creed, whatever. Just like the woman would be the same way. Get to know the person so you don't end up like these celebrities. Alright then, you be blessed and take care.